I'm Robin Crosby on guitar.
Warren DeMartini. Stephen Piercy, the throat.
Bobby Blotzer, drums.
Juan Crucier, bass.
There is no shortage of killer 80s metal, from the teased hair of Motley Crue and Quiet Riot to the heavier climbs of Metallica and Slayer. Today we talk about a band that is a lethal combination of the two. Heavy riffs cohabitating with soaring choruses, Ratt were 80s darlings. Now, this is going to be an interesting retrospective because before making it, I didn't know Ratt from a Mouse outside of, Round and Round, but even normies know that song. But now I can confidently say that this band has some hot shit under its belt, so don't call the Exterminator, because this Ratt you're going to want to keep around. Kicking off their career as Mickey Ratt in the 70s, singer and longtime member Stephen Piercy moved the band to LA. Then Babylon for upcoming heavy metal bands. Now all 7 rings of hell smashed into one, but it would take a lot of lineup changes before the rat race could commence, even getting future Ozzy and Badlands guitarist Jakey Lee for a spell. But eventually the lineup of Piercy, guitarist Robin Crosby, and Warren DeMartini, bassist Matt Thor, and drummer Kurt Meyer would make their breakthrough on an album called Metal Massacre. Yes, folks, that Metal Massacre, the same one Metallica was on.
Tell the world, I'm holding on. And tell the world.
After picking up a manager and swapping out Thor and Meyer for bassist Juan Crucier and drummer Bobby Blotzer, the classic Ratt lineup was cemented, and after releasing a killer EP and getting picked up by Atlantic Records, out popped Out of the Cellar. All the youthful intensity and hard work is put into every single track on this album. Songs like In Your Direction, Back for More, Lack of Communication, and my favorite track, She Wants Money, has awesome riffs and solos, Steven's iconic vocals, and catchy as the clap choruses.
She wants money. She wants money. She wants money.
Robin and Warren can shred, Steven can shout, the whole damn band can shake it all about, and it blew up big time, with mega hit Round and Round blasting out across stereos, and music videos replete with enough cameos to fill out below average sitcoms, from Motley Crue to Ozzy to their manager Marshall Burl's uncle, comedian Milton Berle.
It was fun working with this man, guys. The best.
How could it be anything else?
I don't know.
Television turns Mr. Video.
Ratt became overnight metal royalty, and Out of the Cellar can be thanked for that. But that also meant that a follow-up was needed pronto.
Titling the album "Invasion of Your Privacy" isn't like an offensive thing. We don't mean it as that. We just mean it as, now we are very close to you. We came from just Ratt to Ratt, and then we came out of the cellar. So we decided now we're invading your privacy. We're in your homes. We're with your daughters, your mothers, and your sisters, and
With a hugely successful debut under their belts, you'd think that Ratt would go the way of other bands with successful debuts and divulge into inner turmoil, ego, and eventually release a subpar second product. But not Ratt. Even though all that, inner turmoil and ego stuff was going on, it was very prevalent. Steven recorded his vocals separately, Robin's drug problem was starting to pick up, and all those awesome classic 80s metal band shenanigans.
Started looking like a lingerie store or something.
It looked good and occasionally smelled great.
So I walked in one day and said, this place smells like a boat.
After re-releasing their first EP, the band released Invasion of Your Privacy, a superb second siege. When a band finds their signature sound, the only thing they can do is shift that baby into second gear. Out of the Cellar, while a great album, admittedly has its less than stellar moments, but with Invasion of Your Privacy, those moments are few and far between. Closer to My Heart is admittedly a stinker, but fan favorites like You're in Love and Lay It Down, and deeper cuts like Between the Eyes and What You Give Is What You Get, more than forgive that song.
'Cause it's so easy to forget. What you give is what you get.
Are Stephen Pearcy's lyrics cheesy? Yes, but come on. What's wrong with a little bit of cheese? While it didn't sell as much as Out of the Cellar and the singles didn't chart as high, Invasion of Your Privacy is just a better album. More consistent, more heavy, more Ratt. I still have to chew. And speaking of more Ratt...
Good evening, Miss Galore. The 5 men you are looking at are a band called Ratt. Your assignment, if you decide to accept, is to get photographs that no other magazine has been able to get, and find out what dancing undercover is all about.
2 albums in and the band wanted people to take them more seriously, swapping out the chicks for dudes with dicks. Dancing Undercover melds the band's glam affectations with heavier riffs and less catchy songs. Don't get me wrong, tracks like Slip of the Lip and Dance will be lodged into your frontal cortex, never to be removed, but tracks like Looking for Love, 7th Avenue, and Body Talk will give you a swift kick in the ass. While it may not have as many radio-friendly tracks as Out of the Cellar or Invasion of Your Privacy, Dancing Undercover is by far my favorite out of the Ratt catalog, which is impressive given the unwillingness to even record it in the first place. The band were burnt out, but hey, that's record labels for ya, and they need more money. And of course, this being the 80s, there were enough chemicals and stimulants to keep those creative juices flowing, and while the band used them all, Robin Crosby used them the most.
Quitting heroin is like quitting breathing when you're addicted. There's no just walking away from it. I wish to God I had any idea what I was dealing with.
The band were in desperate need of a break, but like I said, record companies being record companies, they still wanted more music. Careful what you wish for, you fucking animals.
You have come up with this album, which is the first in 2.5 years. Why did it take that long?
Well, we wanted to spend more time on this record and make it even more special than the last albums. We wanted to make sure everything was right about it.
So that was a fucking lie.
Reach for the Sky has got more drama than HBO. Enter band conflicts and dropping longtime producer Beau Hill for Mike Stone. The same Mike Stone that worked for Queen, in case you haven't watched my Queen retrospective yet. But after he fucked the mix, the band went back to Beau. And thus the album feels a little all over the place and lackluster. Don't get me wrong, there are some good songs on here, but you can hear how little the band care about them.
All the time. Take a chance into the night. I've got to feel the thunder.
See what I mean? Or more accurately, hear what I mean? It's a good song, but it sounds phoned in. The only saving grace on this album is actually one of my all-time favorite Ratt songs, Chain Reaction.
That's the chain reaction. Just you and me. The only thing that gets me on will bring it to your name.
Reach for the Sky couldn't even do that. While it still hit platinum record sales, the singles didn't chart as high and the tour was cut after a few months. The decline of Ratt has begun, people, but at least we're gonna hit one more mini peak before we fully descend.
I'm gonna hold you till the end of time. I'm gonna love you 'cause it's now or never.
shacking up with Desmond Child of Kiss and Aerosmith fame to co-write songs, as well as a new producer they didn't kick to the curb, 1990's Detonator only reached gold instead of platinum. But honestly, that shouldn't be a surprise. It followed what was considered a commercial failure, and it was 1990, and the music scene was about to get a whole lot lamer. But in all honesty, I don't hate this album. Desmond Child's help injected the songwriting with fresh blood, especially on the opening tracks Shame, 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 which is Ratt's best music video to boot, by the way, and Lovin' You's a dirty job. But the rest of the album is just as killer, one step away in the bluesy all-or-nothing rip. It also contains Ratt's only full-blown power ballad, Giving Yourself Away, and guess what? That also kicks ass.
You say you don't want me, you say you don't care, you say that your heart ain't got no room for me there.
The use of more bluesy riffs fits Steven's voice a whole lot better, and the band actually sounds like they give more of a damn here. Detonator is an underrated gem of an album, and you should listen to it. Apart from a not-so-stellar selling album, the early 90s for Ratt really weren't all that bad. They toured consistently and even got the first track on the Point Break soundtrack. But eventually, Robin's substance abuses and pretty much everything else came to a head, and Ratt wouldn't live to see the mid-90s.
We were sort of scared because we didn't know what to say to him, and we didn't know how to help him.
That was kind of the thing where we thought, we need to do this for his own good. It didn't, help things. It got worse after that.
And after that, the band members went on to separate projects, and that's how it was for the next few years. But eventually, 3/5 of the classic lineup reunited as Juan Crucier didn't want to come back, and Robin Crosby developed HIV, which turned into AIDS. After releasing an alternate recordings album called Collage and striking a deal with Sony, the rampage of Ratt was ready to commence anew. Wait. Oh no. We're talking about the self-titled album. Oh, what in the fresh hell is this? The self-titled album is the most 1999 thing to ever exist. All the lame parts of 90s rock are present and accounted for here. Let's see, we got full bluesy Pearl Jam riffs, check. Uninspired vocal melodies to match, check. And Yarly vocals, check. Look, I praised Steven's voice for melding with the music on Detonator, but come on, does this even sound like Steven?
A faded picture of your photograph. You said that times like these it wouldn't last.
Look, it's not like I don't know why the band didn't go back to their original sound. It was 1999, and the classic metal revival was still a few years down the road, even though Wolf did release their debut the same year. Ratt the album doesn't represent Ratt the band. Hell, even Ratt the band doesn't represent Ratt the band. Steven fucked off to tour with his band Nitronic, which changed their name to Ratt, featuring Stephen Pearcy. Look, I'm not saying Steven can't do that, he is the longtime original member after all, but come on, the classic lineup sound is also Ratt. And it was about to lose one of its key members when, after announcing his HIV diagnosis, Robin Crosby would die of a heroin overdose.
I mean, I've run the full gamut, done everything I ever dreamed of and more. Don't feel sorry for me. I've lived the life of 10 men. Nobody cry at my funeral. As a matter of fact, let's have a party.
And once again, that was it for Ratt. Until classic members reunited once more with guitarist John Corabi, who sang on a very underrated Motley Crue album that we'll get to at some point in the future, and then Quiet Riot guitarist Carlos Cavazo. And with this lineup, a new, true Ratt album would come out. With classic metal no longer the pariah it was back in the days of shitty taste, a more classic Ratt album could be released, and that's exactly what was unveiled in 2010. with Infestation. From the opening Eat Me Up Alive, you almost for a split second believe that this album came out in the 80s. And then of course that modern production job brings you right back. But seriously, the more classic feel and use of more up-tempo tracks does put this album high up on my Ratt ranking. Tracks like Last Call make me want to run buck-ass naked down a hallway, and my favorite track, A Little Too Much, is a perfect blend of classic Ratt and modern might.
What's the matter with me? I can't hear myself. And there's nobody else.
Infestation is a fantastic album that to this day still hasn't had a follow-up, as the band would break up again and then spend the next few years suing the shit out of each other. But eventually Steven and Juan would make a new Ratt lineup, which, yeah, if you were around back in 2018, has seen some better days. But as of right now, a new album doesn't seem to be in the cards, as Stephen Pearcy recently came out about his cancer battle. I really hope nothing bad happens. I don't want to lose another Ratt member so soon, especially after Juan and Stephen promised new music. I started off this retrospective as, you know, a halfway decent fan of Ratt, but now I consider myself a true Ratt and Roller. Well, that does it for another episode of the Ratt Retrospective. I thank you all once again for sitting down with me, and until next time, I'm Liam Winfield. Keep on rocking.
Look at all this stuff. Oh, here we are. We're back. Let's go get some blood transfusions.
Would you like to see the dancing crab?
We'd love to see the dancing crab.
All right.